Okay, this is Justin with Targeting Alpha, back with a video recap. So I just want to do a quick recap on a trade that I took with Zillow. Now I'll be focusing more on learning videos and things like that, but every once in a while I like to take and do a quick video on maybe a trade that I took, especially if it supports a previous strategy that I've outlined or one that I'm going to outline in the future. Now, the stock is Zillow, and I had brought this stock up in the video on RSI that I did a few weeks back, and I was showing that on a daily it was putting in a nice divergence on the RSI, where basically the RSI is making higher lows and the stock is making lower lows. And then I pointed out that it traded into this nice little trading range and started to flatten out. And I was saying in the video that it had put in some nice support. Let me just pull up my price level here. Some nice support levels here, but really had this trading range at about the 30.59 area. So as you can see, it was having difficulty breaking up through that level, but it really wasn't making a next leg down and really just consolidating over, building a trading range. And I believe I outlined in the video that once that it broke out through this level, that it would have a nice run. And I just want to pull it in on a 5-minute chart here. Let me back this time frame out to 20 days. So as you can see, when it bounced off that support level here, and it had this nice strong day, and it closed into the high of day, I had a pretty good feeling that this stock was going to want to try to test that level, and I had a good feeling that it may break out that level on this try. Now, usually I will wait for confirmation of that break, of that trading range, which is probably the better strategy, or try to play it somewhere off the bottom here. But the way that I looked at this, and let me just pull this in here, is that it had such a strong move closing into high a day that it was, worst case scenario, going to try to test that level again. So I really started watching this at the open here. I do believe the market was strong that day too, so you always want to check what the overall markets are doing. You can, as you can see here, I do have my futures pulled up here for the S&P, the NASDAQ, and the Dow, so I can see what percentage they're up or down for the day, as well as net change on these futures, which can give you an overall direction of the market. So you try to trade with market strength. I believe that's what that was this day. I'm not certain, but as you can see, when it opened up here, it had a nice little sell-off on a 5-minute candle, where it broke outside of the Bollinger Band. It backed off a little bit off that RSI, so no longer being overbought like it was heading into close. So sometimes you'll see this kind of an RSI reset, you could say. When that RSI gets really built up on a strong move, you'll have a quick little pullback like that to reset this RSI. And then on these 5-minute candles, I saw it put in a nice bullish candle here. and another really nice bullish candle here. And looking at this 20 EMA level, what I really did here is I just played the break of that 20 EMA with the thought process that it's going to try to head up to here, and really to just try to get ahead of the move a little bit for that break, just so that I can have a little bit tighter risk management or tighter stop. So I took an entry here around the break of 30, and I had a stop here at 29.70, just under this last wick here. Now, as you can see, this trade really developed out. From there, you can see that it got held up right at that 30.59 area and consolidated over, and then it made a nice run up towards the end of the day and really kind of consolidated over again as well. And then on this morning, I believe there was some type of news event. I don't know if it was that Tampa homeowners opened up to sell to Zillow directly, or what it was, but it did have a nice move up. And when I saw these 4 bullish candles here, it started to get overbought on the RSI level. It was pushed outside of the Bollinger Band. I mean, the RSI on this thing was 87. So, I'd made a nice move from 30 up to 32.60, and I basically decided to sell around this 32.60 range. I think it went up a little bit higher and started to push back off, and I thought I'll just go ahead and lock my profit in there. Now, pulling this back out, you can see that it did have a nice pullback here to the 31.71, but it did hold up at this 200 EMA on the 5-minute chart before making a nice another move up the next day and consolidating over again. So this chart is looking pretty bullish. Now, I don't really like to get into stuff this late in the game. I would probably have to go back to the daily chart and map some different support, or rather resistance levels, that it could potentially make a nice move outside of. But I did leave some on the table here with this move. But as you can see, anytime you get that type of move that quick within a 20-minute period, there's usually going to be a pullback. So I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll get this pulling back, retracing 50%, maybe to this 50 EMA, and then get in that a little bit later for a move back up. But it just never developed that way. It really consolidated over for the rest of the day. So I just want to break you guys down on that recap, and I hope that helps. If you want to learn more about trading with RSI and some of the other indicators, I do have a good video out there on RSI, and I break down some strategies on how to enter and exit trades with RSI, as well as some other strategies kind of throughout that video. I think it's pretty helpful. And if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. I'm going to have a lot more content coming out. And like this video if you find it relevant and helpful. And check out some of the other videos on the channel as well. All right, guys, you have a good rest of your day trading, and we'll talk to you later.